Hello, and welcome to the Friday Night Craft and Chill. Yes, I have my tea. Starting a little bit early tonight. Probably going to end a little early, too. You know, planning on doing about 2 hours. But that's good. That's good. I need to start trying to get up a little bit earlier consistently throughout the week. So I might try and do this. I mean, you know, don't hold me to it. But I might try and do it a little bit earlier. Around 10 o'clock or something like that. We got Fat Red Foo here in the chat, and Duffman Dioramas. How you doing, guys? Thanks for coming in. We're going to be doing the painting on this chair that we built last week. Probably going to start with that pretty quick because I'm going to have to get a few coats of paint on there. Hopefully I'll be able to finish that. Did I show? I can't remember if I had this last week or not. I don't think I did. I think I made this 2 or 3 days ago. I finished this little design. Just cut off a nearly 2-hour stream. You guys did 2 hours on World Builders? Because that's unusual. BX Medic, what's up, man? So some of y'all know I had this little 1/18 chair. And this was just a test to see what I could do in one print, single color, and you know, it kind of fits. It looks like a little kiddie chair, but it fits. But then I went through and I did this. It's almost a throne, but it's not really. Kind of like a fancy chair you might have. You could see a bunch of them sitting at like a table or something like that. But yeah, we're going to do some different stuff. I'm going to keep going in this direction with the 3D print design where, you know, some multicolor stuff and the chairs. And this is 2 pieces that glue together, which is how I was able to get the multicolor to print like that and to have overhangs without having supports, which... Supports are fine, but it can make it difficult to have a clean surface sometimes when you're printing. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure Ed is out of town for this week, so Ed will not be with us. Wouldn't surprise me if he popped in, because he usually does that even when he says he's not going to be here. But he's got some stuff going on. Closer to that Ed chair. Yeah, I'm actually working on an even fancier version right now. Yeah, I just printed the top part, but I don't have the whole thing printed yet because I was just designing it a little bit before dinner. We'll probably look at that a little bit later. Man, I wonder if I could just use this big old filbert brush. Yeah, we'll just do that. It'll go on real quick. Hey, Briscoe, how you doing, man? So, Fat Red, I think I'm going to be putting up this and possibly some other stuff on Etsy soon. I just keep wanting to get it like just a little bit better. You know, I want to make sure that I feel good about the design before I throw it up on there. This next one, this will probably make it on there. I'm pretty happy with it. But this next one I'm doing, actually, this is the top part of it. Even fancier. It's just the top piece. It's going to be even fancier and more command cherry-ish, I think. Okay, Fat Red, will do. But yeah, gonna start doing some of that, I think. It's been a while since I've looked on Etsy. Some of the stuff people are doing now is crazy, but expensive. Large pieces, you know, whole diorama buildings and stuff for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is cheaper than what it would cost to make them by hand. They're doing a lot of the 3D printing now, I'm seeing, and that's it's pretty interesting. Making it by hand? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, Fat Red. I mean, sort of. This is pretty close to the back from this chair. I mean, you can see the similarity in this piece right here on the side and the general shape of the back. I mean, I added the red lines in, I changed the seat cushion shape a little bit and the headrest shape a little bit, but it's basically going off this. I mean, the profile of the chair will be the same. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get to the control consoles, because doing them like this is 2 prints per console, or 2 pieces per console. I'll see. Every time I want multicolor on the, like, another part of the chair, like on the sides, it's difficult because I can't get a different color up here and here easily unless I make thin slice pieces that glue on, which I'm not above doing. I'm just kind of toying with it all right now, seeing what works. Probably no to decals. Not for a while, anyway. On the make something that pegs in, yeah, I'm looking at that, but it's hard to explain. Because I want color, or two colors, like if I were to print this side face down, it's difficult to get peg holes to form well when they're against the plate. Anyway, it's a long thing. I'll figure it out one way or the other. Super glue is my friend. I see lots of people use super glue. Toy manufacturers use super glue like crazy. So if you can't get it to peg together too well, you can always just glue it. Some mechanical strength is good, though, admittedly. I don't like totally relying on glue, but I have on a few things. We got Thor. What's up, Thor? Hi, Random and everybody. What's up? Shane, Same Time Toys. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Started a little bit early today. Hope you've been doing well. I got paint on my laptop. Nice. Deadpool. So while I have you guys in here, I know I showed these before, but I'm just wondering, do you guys think that this is an okay size? So this file cabinet drawer it's a little out of scale. It's a little bit bigger than a normal file cabinet drawer would be. I guess you could say it's a different kind of drawer. It's super handy for fitting things in. The drawers work great. But it's not like exactly 1/12 scale. It might be closer to 1/10. But I kind of like it, you know. I don't know. I don't really mind the difference in scale. What do you guys think? Medium-sized file cabinet, it works. Says Shane, thank you. All right. Looks good? Okay. I did it after those handmade ones I did a few months ago. Ed just had one in his pictures on Instagram, in those detective pictures he did. But I don't know, I was just thinking about it while I was contemplating putting one of those up on Etsy, if I should redesign it or not. Looks great, will photo great. Thank you. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Come here. Yeah, now I'm thinking if I should reprint this in 1/12 as well. I did make this specifically for 1/18, but yeah, I don't know. Another thought I've had, you know, now that I got some people here, I was thinking about maybe putting a little medallion up here, and then those could be custom initials. I don't know. I don't know if anyone would get a kick out of that or not. I probably couldn't get the resolution to write like whole words unless they were really short, but you know, just like 2 initials or something like that. That might be kind of cool. Options, brother. Charge more for a bigger one. Yeah. Yeah, Shane, you're not wrong. Since, you know, we're random diorama, we just skip around here. I'll just, let me see. Is screen capture working? Oh, man, no, it's not. Give me 1 second here. Window capture. Yeah, it should be Fusion. There we go. This is that chair, the top part of the chair in the file. And you can see like right here is the bottom piece that will extrude out this part here. And I'll do 2 of those on each side, and then probably have a middle section that's all got to be, you know, printed separately, obviously. So, and that's this guy right here. So that'll be a fancier chair. Now this is once again 1/18th, and I'm doing these in 1/18th to start with because it's, you know, less materials, it's quicker to make the changes, and I have less print issues with the smaller prints. The larger prints with the flat pieces on the back, I sometimes have problems with the ends turning up, and I gotta monitor that. Yeah. We fixed issues with initials, correct? Well, Fat Red, it's never, nothing is ever fully fixed. I can get it to work, but if I get it small enough, it's going to cause problems. So it just depends on the size. Yeah, man. Look, the Proxon's a great machine. Use it. Have you been using it for anything? Sorry if I'm not paying attention on Instagram as much as I probably should. But 3D printers are pretty amazing. 3D printers have always been cool, like since they've been, well, they haven't always been cool. They used to actually really suck. But since the Creality came out, I would say, the Ender 3, they've been pretty nice. But since the Bamboos kind of hit the scene, and now there's lots of people copying what they do, it's finally user-friendly enough to where, yeah, it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Making steel beams, very cool. I was referring to your barrels and the initials. No, I've never done any further work on correcting my backwards initials on the bottom of the barrels. Those were done in Tinkercad, though, and I haven't really played with any of those files lately. Except to export some of them over to Fusion. Because they're by the same company, Tinkercad and Fusion is both Autodesk programs, you can export your Tinkercad files, you know, not just the whole model, but all the pieces, so you can edit everything into Fusion, which is really nice. I haven't really done much with it, just to but I did, you know, play with it enough to realize that it's very full featured. You know, it's not just importing a lump. Legend Series, what's up, man? We're just chilling. We're just having a happy little chair moment here today, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I'm thinking another round of generations for the printers, and it might be easier for me. I'm an impatient SOB. They're definitely getting better each and every generation. You're not wrong. Although they are starting to get more expensive again. They got lower in price. And like the newest generation bamboo, I think is like $2,000. Because they're starting to make them with multiple extruders. So first they had, you know, single color. But then you could switch the color out, you know, the reel out. Then they have, like what I have here, it's got multiple colors. But it has to purge the tool head out, and then, you know, put another color in there, the print head. And then now they have it where they have like 2 or 3 or 4 extruders, so you don't get all the waste, and it's quicker because it doesn't have to change the filament out. It just picks the different extruder with the other color, but it costs more and more money. Action Joe Figs, thank you for coming through, man. I'm enjoying my Friday, it being the end of the week. Oh, end of week 2, back teaching school. Yeah, well, all vacations must end. There is software that can take a 2D image and convert it to 3D for printing. There is. There's lots of software like that, Fat Red. Some of it sucks, but it's gotten better. Most of it requires some kind of editing. I mean, look, if you want to print something single color and you don't care about support placement, that's usually fine. If you're trying to get something to look very clean, you know, and not have support schmutz and lines all over it. I mean, you're going to have lines. There are lines in there. Those are printing lines, right? They're in there. But when you convert it, it's kind of too dumb still to clean it up. I've seen leaps and bounds in those scanners. They have gotten a lot better. Yeah, there's no question. Let's just set that over there for a moment. I don't really have a whole lot of else to do, so I guess I can glue some crate lids together. Wow, all the excitement. Are you looking at the two-piece assembly, or are you looking at the crazy sparkles it's making in the camera? Oh, this one? What? It looks like a dude going like this. Ah! Fat Red, I've held this thing in every position already. Hold on. What am I doing? All right. It's a video, bro. You can rewind it anytime you like. Yeah. Ah, dude. I should probably have one lid. Let me get one lid. Two of those tail to tail would be a med bay. Yeah, it could be, for sure. But I don't have to trash bash Fat Red because I could just design it that way. That's the sweet thing about it. All I have to do is go in there and copy that, cut this piece out, join it together, extend this out, and bam, it would just be that and print it out. It's pretty easy once you have the general thing already kind of laid out. I have been a little tempted to do some Star Trek like medical equipment, like the like the little med bays they have with the part that goes over them, but I'm trying not to go down the direction of doing properties. It might happen eventually. I mean, it's dead easy to sell that stuff. If you make things for pre-existing properties, it sells like crazy. When I started doing all like the techno, like the sci-fi technology stuff, I got quite a few people asking me, hey, can you do the Bridge of the Enterprise? Bridge of the Enterprise, Bridge of the Enterprise. Oddly enough, most people wanted the original, but I guess because the retro style of what I was doing, I guess that makes sense. I ordered a Bamboo Labs A1 to add to the 3D printer family. Action Joe Figs, they're great. And if anyone else orders a Bamboo Lab printer at any time in the future or gets any filament, I do have an affiliate link for them, so feel free to use that. Yeah, the affiliate link, is it in the, it should be in the description. I think it's in every live stream description as well as on my Instagram. But I have an A1. Awesome printer. I have an A1 Mini, an X1C, and an A1. Now, I bought the A1 Mini, loved it, and Bamboo sent me an X1C. When we did the affiliate thing, they sponsored me an X1C, which I was ecstatic about. But I needed a little bit more capacity, and I bought the A1 out of pocket. And the A1 can do almost as good as the X1C, I would say, on PLA. I really don't notice a difference, to be quite honest. It might be a touch slower, but just a touch. Now, if you got into the more fancy materials, I think the X1C will beat it. Did you get the multicolor with the A1 Action Joe Figs? Fat Red, no, I didn't do it. I didn't do the bridge of the original Enterprise. I mean, I could have, but also people wanted it like for commissions, and it's got a lot of spindly bits, you know? It's going to be very easy to break, like especially the part that goes around the back. It just, yeah, I didn't do it. If I made it and kept it for myself, it'd be fine, but trying to ship that to somebody, I don't know. Got the multicolor? Excellent. The AMS light system works great. Love it. Haven't had any problems with it. I mean, I've had the filament break off in the tube a few times on, you know, after many hours of printing. Usually when I left it sitting a little bit too long without use. But it's, you know, you learn how to deal with it. It's not a hard fix. But I'm not ruling out doing an Enterprise bridge eventually, Fat Red. I don't know if I will, but I'm not totally against it. I think it's probably more likely, though, now with using a little bit more 3D modeling than doing it by hand. Because I don't work with metal, so I guess I would make it out of wood. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? That red inner circle thing, like those are just tiny little beams. 3D printing it wouldn't be too bad, probably. And do some by hand as well. Although the color schemes on the original Enterprise bridge would lend itself really well to 3D printing, I think. And you know, just the way it's designed, it's very geometric. Very basic kind of stuff. Very similar to, you know, my handmade consoles. Wood grain Enterprise. Well, that would be the next generation. Has a lot of wood grain on it. Initial Goose, how you doing? It's going well here, man. Hair not included. Gotta pay extra for that. Let's see, are we dry? Not quite. Yeah, so Jabalong, actually, when I was looking at things for specifically for 3D modeling, the DS9 Ops jumps out to me all the time because it's the most... Uh-oh, what am I doing? There we go. It's the most, I don't know how to put it, but the design, because it's Cardassian and not Federation, something about the way that they laid it out, it seems to me like it would lend itself to a diorama really, really well. Enterprise Captain's Chair would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. A moss hole for Tedward. Ted has been, you know, kind of busy with stuff, so he's not been really doing much of the creative reels or anything like that. I mean, it seems like they're trying to post a little bit right now. But if he wanted to do another Mossman skit, I mean, I could build something for him. But I think he's got some other stuff he's got to sort out right now. Multi-level, yeah, that's the thing, right? Yeah, like the it had like the pit where you would stand down, and kind of like the overseer station and all that near wherever Gold Ducat's old office. I think it was on that side. But yeah, I like the way they were laid out, for sure. Bridge from Babylon 5. That would be crazy. The freestanding holodeck arch from the Next Generation would be a nice and versatile dio piece. Jabalong, they're doing the arch in Nacelle Toys has it coming with their Star Trek figures. I don't remember who it is, which figure, but one of them has it, because they have the TNG Enterprise crew all dressed up in their, you know, like their British Navy. I don't know if it was, yeah, I guess British Navy uniforms that they wore when they would get on the Enterprise and do like ceremonies and stuff on the HMS Enterprise on the holodeck. And one of the characters, it might have been Geordi, it might have been Worf, but it comes with the holodeck arch. But it would be cool. And I agree, I loved Babylon 5. I keep meaning to rewatch it since they put it on Amazon. I watched a couple episodes, but I never really got fully into it again. But I need to give that a rewatch. It was a great show. And that's Nacelle Toy Company, if you want to look that up. I think it was on their website, that figure. Naval Geordi that comes with the arch. Yeah, nice. They have some really awesome looking accessories with those. I don't really buy many toys, but I might be tempted to buy those. I just wish they were 1/12 and not 1/10. But it is what it is. I don't know why they would make those 1/10. It still might scale not too bad with 1/12 because they're not superheroes. You know, they're normal dudes. Oh man, except for like Worf. But their proportions should be not heroic. Who wants to get nerdy? Fat Red. Fat Red will engage in your nerdy conversation, Goose. Holds up, but the 3D effects take you right. Yeah, that's the thing. The 3D effects and some of the over-the-top acting from, like, was it Garibaldi? Not Garibaldi. Who was the ambassador dude with the... It might have been Garibaldi. Or is that the commander? I can't remember the dude. You know who I'm talking about. Garibaldi's the commander, I think. Or whatever, the security guy. But the dude with the giant black, wrong way facing mohawk hair. Yeah, the special effects are bad in the beginning. They get better as the show goes on, from what I remember. But anything with bad special effects like that, or older special effects, as soon as you watch like 3 or 4 episodes in a row and the story takes you, you kind of just get over it. At least I usually do. Londo, there you go. There you go. That's the dude. Sorry for the late response. Doing some play motion. Very cool Legend series. Don't worry about it. It's going great, man. I mean, that's the scripted response I'm supposed to give, right? Everything's wonderful. There's no problems here. No problems at all. I'm not blinking twice. Did the math based on the canon height of Duke and the actual figure measurements. They're actually 1.116 scale. Yeah, I think they might have rounded up on that one, buddy. Totally get over the special effects. Yep. Yeah, that's how it always is when I go back to watch. Even the Next Generation, right? The effects, I think, are still pretty good, but when you watch that first season, and it's been, a few years since you've seen it, it's kind of a little rough in the beginning. You did it all based around... Oh, man. 11.5 scale. 11.5 scale. That's, very precise of you. The sad thing about that is I am positive now that you've done that and you've seen the difference in that 0.5, you're gonna notice the difference if you had him in a 1/12. If this is true and you're not just being facetious, which I kind of hope it's true. Let's hit this red chair up again, and we can come back and do some more of these in a little bit. Anyway. Should we have given Enterprise a little longer? Yeah, absolutely, Action Joe. Enterprise needed a little bit longer. It was... Everyone likes to knock the first couple of seasons, but I honestly liked it. I liked the bumbling about in space feel of it. I had no problem with that. Also, people will say that they acted like a bunch of impetuous hotheads in space, but that kind of portrays it's humanity's first foray into deep space, so they're going to be inexperienced and learning as you go. I think it kind of worked for it. James Watson. Yeah, thank you, Legend Series. On the crates, we're going to be painting some more of this chair that we made on the last show as well. The crates are kind of filler, but oh yeah. Well, one way to say something is, it is what it is. Yeah, why do they make art scales? I don't know, man. He'll never unsee it. Probably not. Probably not. Gonzo, how you doing? Famine Studios, how you doing, Famine? Thanks for coming by. Hotheads in Space, are we talking about The Expanse? We're talking about the first couple of seasons of Enterprise, where they're kind of just like, you know, the daddy Vulcans finally let them out on their own, and they kind of like bursted out onto the scene. The Expanse, definitely, definitely though, they were like, yeah, that was further into hot-headedom, for sure. There's some points in that where it's kind of like they start acting more mature, then they don't, on and off, like the Holden character especially. Amos is pretty consistently psychotic throughout the whole thing. But a great show. Love that show. Yeah, Next Generation was my main as well. Later on, I started to really like Deep Space Nine. Voyager eventually grew on me, and when Netflix came out, like back when you could mail the the discs back and forth, I watched Enterprise that way, and I liked it. Yep, it's pretty much all on Paramount. That is true. James Lucas. What's up, James? Man, we're getting a lot of people that have just popping through here now. Nice. James Watson. Thanks for coming through. I like Enterprise. Yeah, I liked Enterprise. It got some flack, but kind of like Famine said, a lot of people were very, brought up on the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, right there in that cluster in the early 80s, late 90s. I was watching the original series because my aunt was a pretty big Trekkie. So I watched the original series with her in the early, mid 80s. And then she had them all on VHS, back when they used to do the individual cassettes for each episode. I'm sure that was probably pretty pricey to get all that back in the day. But, yeah, I remember when the Next Generation came out, and it was just awesome watching that every week. But I don't think I ever watched every single episode until Netflix became a thing. Really cool stories. T'Pol wasn't a bad Vulcan at all. No, she was fine. What about Strange New World? Kind of like the first few. Always want to see more about Pike. I haven't really watched too much of it. I watched a little bit of that. I watched a little bit of Discovery. And, it's all right. It's kind of like, you get into one thing what you're used to, and it's kind of hard to change. A little bit of Strange New Worlds was okay. I kind of don't like some of the technology stuff they did, like just the vibe of everything now. All the shows they're doing, they don't feel like the older Trek vibe on the tech. It all kind of like went off of the J.J. Abrams. In my mind, I think of it as like Flash Bang Trek. You know, it's all the action-y spectacle. Not that there wasn't plenty of that in the old Star Trek too, but he heavily focused on that. But anyway, the tech on it is just, I don't know, there's something about it. I have to, it's been so long since I tried to watch Discovery or Strange New Worlds, probably since the first season of Strange New Worlds, that it's not really that fresh in my mind. I tried watching Picard. Season 1 was not great, but I struggled into it. Season 2, I stopped watching, and then Season 3 was awesome, which is probably what almost everyone says. The OG, yeah, the cartoon. Star Trek, the animated series. My aunt also had all of those on VHS, but I never watched all of them. Family members would record new episodes of TNG. Yeah, that's cool. You know, since we're on this subject, I showed this off, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Maybe a month ago on here. I don't want to get paint on it though. I'm sure Fat Red remembers this. I picked this up at the Half Price Books near me. And I was going through looking for different things that might be inspiration for, you know, building stuff. And honestly, the comic books they had there had more visual cues that I liked, you know, things I could probably use as reference. But the reason why I ended up getting this, and I thought it was so cool, is there was a whole article, and I know I talked about this before, but there was a whole article here on the original guys that built the model for Deep Space Nine and how they made it all, and you know, there's quite a bit of detail talking about that. And you could see they took quite a bit of work went into making all this stuff by hand, and I thought that was really, really cool. Fat Red, I'm sure you do remember. Where are we at? Like the reboot? Yeah, the reboot, I liked it. You know, the first one. After the first one, they kind of kept falling off more and more to me. I didn't really watch Lower Decks Jab Along. I watched a couple episodes and it seemed funny, you know, but it seemed more like I don't know how to put it. It seemed like a cartoon that wasn't really Star Trek, but based in a Star Trek world, you know, like Family Guy in space. Doomsday Machine, Lower Decks. Too many streaming services these days to watch anything. There is definitely information overload, Briscoe. James, honestly, just watching the third season would probably be fine for Picard. I mean, if you try to watch through season 1 or 2, you can get there, but it's season 3 gets better and better. And the end is great. I used to have from my aunt, that was the Trekkie, some gold key Star Trek comics. I have no idea what happened to those things. I wish I still had them. But those are pretty cool. Alright, we're just going to do the whole thing over again. And go do some more crates while we're waiting on that to dry. For sure, man. Comic versions. So the Star Trek movies weren't bad. The first one was weird. Everyone says Wrath of Khan was the best, and it was a good movie, for sure. I liked Search for Spock. I liked Undiscovered Country. Generations was okay. First Contact was good. First Contact was really good, actually. I don't know this Trek stuff. I'm out of the loop on this. Briscoe, that's how I feel like all the time as people talk about toys, so don't worry about it. Orville might be the best recent Trek. Also, they dialed back the jokiness a bit. I haven't watched the more recent Orville, but I did watch the first 2 seasons, and yeah, it was intending to be a joke. But because he stuck to like the cookie cutter Star Trek formula, it was actually, like you're saying, very Star Trek in spirit in many ways. This red is certainly loud, but hopefully when I put the dark gray paneling on the sides, it'll dial that back a little bit. Probably so. V'ger, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure everyone back in, when was that made? 79 or 80? I think it was 79, because I'm pretty sure they made the first Star Trek movie the year I was born. I'm sure everyone was happy they were making a Star Trek movie back then, because they waited so long for any new Trek, right? The original series ended 68 or 69, maybe? And so they waited at least a decade. Yeah, the even-numbered ones, that's... a lot of people say that. I really wish they'd make more. I really wish they'd make more Firefly. I don't even care if they're old. Just put them on there. It'd probably be difficult to do now, but... people would watch it. He stopped to make the TED show. I haven't watched that. I'm not even familiar with what that is. Firefly. I like Firefly. Yeah, I do too. Quentin Tarantino doing a Trek movie. I don't know, man. I mean, the only thing is I could imagine there being some really gory, crazy stuff with the Klingons in it. If they have the license to use the actual Klingons and not the Klingoffs or whatever the heck they were using. Yes to Firefly. Yeah, I know. Like, I can't believe they haven't redone that. The entire internet was basically Firefly fanboys for more than a decade. I mean, it's kind of like faded out a bit now, but for the longest time, everyone was like Firefly, 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 nonstop. I mean, to the point that independent people on Etsy started making, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with this, but they were making those Jane hats, you know, those knitted things that his mom sent him. And I think one lady probably started knitting them, and then other people copied her. And then they were selling so many of them that the company that had, you know, owned the show was like, no, we're gonna do that now. So they, you know, they kicked them off all their Etsy listings. That's probably at least 10 years ago or more that happened now. Probably about 10 years ago. Yeah, I mean, thing with Firefly, James, is you watch that and it's, you know, you could do that in a weekend. It's nothing. It's 13 episodes and the movie. Ted is a prequel show to the Ted movie. I don't know anything about Ted. No idea. My grandmother knit me 2 of his hat. It's one of my most prized possessions. Yeah, that would be awesome. I wish I had something that my grandma knitted me. She used to always make me those little like booty socks. The little knitted socks. And I would love running and sliding across the floor on those when I was little. But sadly, I don't have anything that she knitted for me left anymore. Yeah, that's really cool, man. Plus, you look very cunning in those hats, I'm sure. A man puts on a hat like that, and you know he's not afraid of anything. My grandmother used to knit those, right? Those slippers were cool. Yeah, dude. Anything knitted, like, you were going flying. But I was a very agile little guy, and I would just come running around the corner and just whoosh, slide all the way through the dining room. Booty shorts weren't a thing yet, or if they were, I wasn't. They weren't in my realm of awareness at that age, Briscoe. And my grandma was a very modest woman, so I don't think she would have gone that route. But yes, I agree with you. Good thing she didn't. Oh, okay, that's cool. Double knit, huh? Interesting. Damn it, I'm gonna have to buy one this year now. I kind of can't believe that I never got one. Can't stop the signal, Mel. What's going on, Troy? That was something I was actually looking at the other day for possibly doing a 3D model of, or even a diorama of, was the bridge of the Firefly, which would be awesome. I didn't realize how different they were, because there's not a whole lot of really good pictures of it because it didn't really run that long. But the movie bridge has some significant changes from the series. But either way, there's a lot of cool character in that ship. The galley on the Firefly, on the Serenity, is awesome. The cargo bay is cool. Quite a bit of character. With this red paint, it looks like all my fingers are just bleeding. I'm just... Working on an outpost building. Troy, Ed sent me that post that you did with the hovercraft pickup truck. And that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty close to something I was kind of thinking about doing, too, a pickup. Not with those big thrusters you got on there, though. But that does look cool. Well, someone's going to get some red smear on their helidope crate. Free weathering. Size changes, some of the different... Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that. Famine. Maybe I'll check that out. Smoothing out the drips. Briscoe, you're brutal, man. James Watson, what's up? I've had an idea of taking 5-inch skeletons and doing a haunted command bridge in sci-fi. Different take on a diorama. I think that's awesome. I think that's a great idea. James, I can't remember, but I feel like there's been some Star Trek episodes, not with skeletons, but with like almost like ghosts. Well, I know there was that one with Picard where they had like the what was that thing? The Ferengi had like that mind control device that like was making him flash back to when he was a lieutenant on the what was the name of that ship? I feel like it was a P word, but he was a lieutenant on this ship. And they killed the guy's dad or something like that, but he was having flashbacks and stuff. But I feel like I saw something with people that were like ghosts. I don't know. But yeah, I like the idea, man. Very cool. Was it the Stargazer? I think it was the Stargazer, Jabalong. I think it was. Or was the Stargazer his first command? I think you're right, though. That sounds really familiar. Let's see here. I need water. Oh. Tea. Water. While that paint is drying, I'm gonna switch over to this for a little bit here and take a look. Show me pic of the Uncle Owen as a skeleton on Etsy. Okay. Picard's first command, but also for 20 years until Enterprises. Okay. Okay. Wait, why is this not working? There we go. $44. 50 by 44. Okay. Where is my caliper? Caliper. Dang it. Just banging into everything. There we go. Times 0.66, 27. I've seen Smuggler's Room on YouTube do some awesome work on his room builds and dioramas. I haven't looked at that, but James Watson, I'll probably look that up. Smuggler's Room. This guy was making some different ideas for Star Wars, now using books for ideas, and YouTube is better today than 20 years ago. Wait, smugglers remind you to do some work. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gotten better, that's for sure. Books are a great spot, though. No question. What? Oh, my laptop plugged in? It's crazy. There we go. I still see a medbay. I think you might have medbay on the brand, dude, but... See, the problem with this is I want this to be black, and I want this to be black, so I can't really do this. So I'll have to separate the seat cushion and have this be a separate piece. Otherwise it won't print correctly. So if I'm gonna do that, well, no, let me see. The arms, hold on, let me do this real quick. Let me do one of the arms while I'm thinking about that. These are 8 mil, yeah, 8 millimeter wide. I don't know. know if there's any way to do a mirror copy or not. I don't think so. All right, where are we at? Anyone else feel like we're looking up at the bottom of a pool? I feel like that myself. Everything's a question of perspective. Yo, Radnom. I'm sorry, Tony. How you doing, Tony? Let's go back to main here for a second. Can this chair hurry up and dry? Are we dry enough? I think we're dry enough to do a little bit of start the painting on the detail. Nah, it doesn't work like that, Fat Red. Need a mirror copy. I need it to flip over. I can do it with the sketch. I know how to do it with the sketch, but I don't know how to do it with the extruded three-dimensional body. It's not a question usually of the program not being able to do it. It's just a question of me not knowing how to get the program to do it. But little by little. Deep gray. That's cool. Where's that other brush? That's not it. Fat Red, I'm not looking at it right now, but no, not generically like that. There isn't. The only way I've figured out how to copy a body is you have to do a move copy while you're in the move screen. Tinkercad works that way, the way that you're saying. So Tinkercad, you know, it's the object-oriented type of thing, but this is parametric, where it goes off the blah 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 blah. The dimensions are the driving factor. You do everything dimensions driven. So it's, I don't know, it just doesn't do as much of that easy move objects around. You gotta jump through more hoops sometimes. output, blah, 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 blah. See, my brain from speaking and painting do not go together. Just posted some outpost work in progress. The double post was messing with me, too. Very cool. Yeah, Fat Red's really good about sharing stuff for people. I'm not. I'm terrible. Not necessarily intentionally. It just seems to turn out that way. But yeah, Troy, you got quite a setup going there. It's bound to happen. My wife thinks she's crazy, not saying that she's wrong. Well, yeah, we're all a little bit nuts. Mudhorn Station, thanks for coming through, man. Following you now, Troy. That's a cool conversion you did on the Lightyear truck. Yeah, the truck was nice. I never bought any of those Lightyear models, but a lot of the models looked really cool on the, models, toys. A lot of those toys looked really cool. Use the smaller brush. You're just going to mess it up if you use this larger brush on these sides. Proceeds to use the larger brush. All right, let's do this part at least. Some people never go crazy, but what terribly dull lives they must lead. Indeed. Ah! Good evening, Radman people. Hey, Kenzo, how you doing? Hope all is well. Plop. Okay. I'll get the smaller brush and hit some of these corners now. Man, I don't remember which one I was using. Hopefully it doesn't matter too much. Now I remember every time I do these, they take so long because of these edges. I could just leave the edges unpainted, but I really like them painted. Yeah, the gray definitely toned the red down, right? It was looking kind of crazy for a minute, but it looks a lot nicer. Gotta trust the process, Fat Red. Trust the process. Whew. I guess I'll do this other side real quick. Alrighty, I think we're probably gonna stop right there for tonight. It's looking pretty cool. Got a little touch-up needs to be done there and a couple other spots, but that's totally normal for me. Still can kind of see some of the markings from the pink foam coming through, so I'll have to do a little bit more red in a few spots, but for the most part, looking pretty good. All right, so thanks everyone for hanging out. Thank you, Kenzo. Cool stuff. I was showing off some 3D print stuff earlier, Kenzo, that I'm working on, like this throne chair thing and this other back of a command chair 3D print that I'll be doing a little bit more work on, probably selling on Etsy at some point. Thanks everyone for coming by and hanging out this weekend. Hope everyone has a great rest of your weekend and a fantastic week. Special shout out to my channel members or anyone that supports me or just anyone that came and hang out as well. Thanks guys, and I hope everyone has a fantastic week that I just said already. So I'm going to go to sleep now. Take care. Later.